What's up guys, Ember Power here and welcome back to a new video. In this one I'm going to be taking a look at some more single prize deck lists from the set Scarlet and Violet. So this is going to be part 2 because I felt there was too many deck lists to cover in the first one, so do have more decks to showcase this time round. So quickly before we begin, got some translations to go over as always. Dondozo, 160 HP, pretty bulky basic Pokemon, has the attack Vent Wrath, that for 2 colorless energy, so we can use stuff like Double Turbo. Does 50 damage for each Tatsugiri in your discard pile, so pretty solid damage output, and it will just allow us to do a decent amount of damage for a single prize attacker. We also have Miriam, a new draw supporter that is basically one of the only ways to recover Pokemon post-rotation in conjunction with stuff like Rescue Carrier. So shuffle up to 5 Pokemon cards from your discard pile into your deck, then you get to draw 3 cards. Pretty solid because Pokemon like Dondozo or Malamar Rapid Strike, which both have more than 90 HP, going to be pretty awkward to recover, so we have to use Miriam to get them back. So his first list is going to be a Malamar Rapid Strike deck, featuring Octillery and Gallade. Pretty solid deck overall. I think this one's pretty consistent. Obviously the new Gallade, well not new Gallade, but the new Kirlia, I should say, from Silver Tempest has the same ability trade as the Cincino, that from Sword and Shield base set that will rotate. So a lot of words there, but basically Cincino rotates, we have to find a replacement, and Kirlia is a pretty good replacement in all honesty, as well as Gallade, which can find a supporter card. So if we need that one off Miriam, if we need Cynthia, Karina, Bruno, Broly, basically we can just find them with Gallade. So pretty consistent overall. Looking at the trainers, it's also very consistent. You know, we've got 4 Level Ball, 4 Fog Crystal, 4 Aromatic Incense. Very consistent deck, designed to be as consistent as possible, just to find all the Rapid Strike Pokemon, so we can then, shuffle them all back in with Malamar. Pretty solid deck. Not sure how this is going to fare in the new format because of how popular Lost Box might be, but yeah, should be interesting to see regardless how well Malamar ends up doing. So the second list is going to be pretty similar to the first one. Again, it's a Malamar deck, but we are playing very different supporters, as well as some interesting Pokemon. So we've got Drapion V, just to give us a better time against Mew VMAX. Also got the Marshadow Rapid Strike, that will allow you to knock out a Pokemon if you use a Rapid Strike attack during your next turn. So if they don't switch out, then it's just a really easy way of knocking out a Pokemon using a 2-hit KO method. Also like to see some interesting trainers. It's a bit less consistent, like we're not running the 4 Level Ball. Also not playing any Nest Ball in this deck, which is really interesting. I guess that's because you don't really want to always just put Pokemon onto play. You want to have that option to either discard them with Refinement Kirlia or be able to, shuffle them back into the deck with Malamar. So something worth bearing in mind if you're considering using Nest Ball. But yeah, pretty cool overall. 4 Karina once again, 3 Cynthia. But we are playing very different supporters. 1 Serena, 1 Zinnia Resolve, 1 Clara over Miriam, which is interesting. 1 Azura, 1 Boss's Orders, and of course we can find all these with Gallade. Also played 2 of the new Stadium that will allow us to once in our turn flip a coin if we had search our deck for any Pokemon, so this will just help with setup as well. 1 Rapid Strike Tower, and then 4 Rapid Strike Energy. So I'm not a fan of Malamar decks that play so little energy, even though you can find it with Artillery. I prefer to have as much energy as I want in the deck, just to guarantee turn attachments, but still pretty cool list overall. And if you're a fan of like the Rapid Strike Malamar, Rapid Strike Marshadow, and Drapion, then it's probably going to be a pretty consistent deck for you. So this next one is going to be a post-rotation Regigigas deck. I know a lot of people, including myself, didn't think there'd be a way to continue Reggie's post-rotation, but it does seem like it has at least some future. Now, this deck is pretty self-explanatory in terms of like what Reggie's been doing. We get all the Reggies in play, then we use Regigigas to accelerate the energy from the discard pile to one of our Reggies. And as for the Reggie Pokemon we play, it's pretty self-explanatory. We play like 2 of each, plus we also play 3 Regieleki and then 3 Regidrago, so pretty standard stuff. But as we'll notice, there's less of a focus on special energy in post-rotation Reggies and more of a focus on basic energy, which is also why we play stuff like 4 Energy Search, just to be able to search for the different energy that we need. So we can play lots of different basic energy, like Basic Lightning, Basic Grass, Basic Fire, Basic Fighting Energy, so we can attack with those Pokemon. Pretty cool list overall. I do believe that special energy is Treasure Energy, I want to say. No, actually, it'd be Gift Energy. Yeah, it'd be Gift Energy, so when one of your Pokemon's knocked out, you get to drop 7. But of course, we can't really use too much colorless energy because we need to be able to pay for more expensive attacks like Regigigas and Regirock, for example, both need 2 of each special basic energy, so that's going to be fairly annoying post-rotation, but still a pretty cool list. I'll pull the one of Power Pad here as well. Do like to see Power Pad in my decks. 2 Claras, probably correct because, we don't have Rod anymore, so we do need you to play Clara or Miriam. This person's playing both, so yeah. I'm personally a big fan of this deck. I think it's pretty cool. Will it be very good? Remains to be seen, but, I do kind of like this one, so I'll have to see how well it does in the future. So this next one is going to be a Braixen deck, or Braixen Delphox deck, using the God of War engine again because, it's such a good line with the Gallade and Kirlia with Refinement. Also playing the God of War with Shining Arcana, which will allow you to look at the top 2 cards of your deck, I believe, and accelerate any amount of energy you find there. Might be top 3, actually. But yeah, Shining Arcana God of War from Chilling Reign, as well as the Gallade. But yeah, pretty cool list because we're also playing the Delphox and Braixen. You don't always see Delphox in Braixen decks, but Braixen, of course, 60 for each Serena card, and you just got power. Probably should have mentioned that at the start. But either way, Delphox also has the same attack, but it does it for like 1 less energy, I believe. It does for 1 colors. So what you can do is like Rare Candy Fennekin into Delphox, and then use Magma Basin to get energy on there. Also, its second attack, it does 50 damage for each energy attached to all of your opponent's Pokemon. Pretty solid move in a format where stuff like Megenzone EX as well as God of War EX are going to be piling in all the energies. So, yeah, pretty solid to be honest. I think this is really good. If I had to say anything about this list, like anything I would change, I would maybe want... Well, I was going to say I'd maybe want a Drapion to deal with Mew, but then I guess your game plan against Mew is just to use Cross Switchers and Serenas to boss up Genesect, and then that's your Mew matchup. But yeah, overall pretty strong list, pretty consistent. You don't need more than 2 rare candies because you're not essentially you're taking a slower pace to get to Delphox, so always cool to see. I don't know, I kind of like this deck. You're also playing some Psychic Energy. I'm not sure if you need to play Psychic Energy really in this deck, but it's there as an option as well. So yeah, pretty cool list. Looking forward to trying this one out. So this next deck is going to be a Dondozo deck. Playing the 4-4 line because we do need the 4 Tatsugiri for them to be discarded. Also playing 2 Ditto because what we can do is then once we run out of Dondozo, we don't necessarily need to worry about recovering them. We can just attack with Ditto. The deck is still playing 2 Clara though to retrieve Pokemon that we need, so that's why we can also get away with playing 1 Miltank, because if we obviously need Miltank back later on in the game, we can Clara for it as well, so that's pretty cool to see. 1 Radiant Greninja as well, just to help with some draw power because this deck doesn't actually have a natural built-in draw engine. Also playing 1 Luminion V, which is a bit questionable. I'm not sure if you really want to be playing a 2-prizer in a single-prize deck like this, but I guess you can attack with it and shuffle it back into the deck if you really want to, but yeah, definitely interesting to see. But yeah, I think the Pokemon pretty straightforward. You're not playing a draw engine, so you have more room for additional trainers like Energy Lotto, Trekking Shoes, stuff like that, but yeah, pretty interesting list. You can also use basic water energy and XP share, which is a good combo because you don't necessarily want to use double turbo every time because you will be doing 20 less damage. So I do like that aspect about the deck. Trainers, pretty self-explanatory. Got 3 research, 2 Irida, which is smart for the early game, 2 Raihan, 2 Clara, 2 Boss. No Serena, which is interesting. I think Serena would have good synergy with both Gust and discarding Tatsugiri, but I guess this person figured you don't need it. But yeah, pretty straightforward list, pretty consistent, looks pretty good to me. So this next Dondozo list is going to be with the Kirlia. So we've got a 4-4 line of Dondozo again, with the 3-3 line of Kirlia. We also see a Mew in the back corner there. I know the image is a bit blurry, so it should be difficult for you to see, but we got a 1 Mew Altar Rare from Crown Zenith, 1 Manphy from Crown Zenith, as well as Drapion V, Luminion V, and Radiant Charizard. And then for trainers, that's 4 Nest Ball, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Level Ball, 1 Hisuian Heavy Ball, 4 Trekking Shoes, 2 Switch, 2 Defiant Band, 4 Research, 3 Serena, 2 Raihan, 1 Boss, 2 Collapse Stadium, 4 Double Turbo, and 4 Basic Pharangy. Really cool list. I really like the fact they're using Collapse Stadium because what it means is that you can essentially bench extra Tatsugiri and then play a Collapse Stadium to discard them, which is pretty cool. So I do like that aspect about the deck. Also playing a Kirlia engine. I think you need the Kirlia engine, to be honest. Like, in all honesty, I think this deck is a bit stronger than the one we just looked at, even though it doesn't seem to be as consistent in the training department. I do think this list is a bit better, a bit more streamlined, a bit more straightforward. Yeah, I'd say this deck is a bit better, to be honest. If I would change anything, maybe I'd make room for a Miltank, but yeah, seems pretty straightforward. Definitely want to try this one out, but yeah, looks pretty good. Then this last deck, I believe this is the last one, is going to be another Kirlia variant. This time we're also playing the 2 Gardevoir from Chilling Reign to help accelerate energy throughout the game, so we don't have to continuously rely on double turbos. But this deck, interesting enough, is playing some more spicy attackers. It's also playing the Kyogre from Celebrations, so you've got this like massive 1-KO option for the bench Pokemon. And the fun thing about Dondozo is, well, it's a bit of not really a fun thing, it's more of a sad thing. Dondozo is not really too like 1-KOing anything in the game. So what you want to do is try and hit the opponent for like 100, 150 damage with Dondozo, and then assuming they retreat out, then you can always like thin the deck out, then play something like one of your energy recyclers, put a bunch of energy back into the deck, and then use Kyogre in the late game to take the final prize cards. So I'm assuming that's kind of like the battle plan for this deck and what you're trying to go for. Pretty straightforward. Also playing stuff like 2 Miriam, as well as 1 Boss, 1 Peona, so you can have access to the prize cards a bit better. 1 Lost Sweeper, 1 Canceling Cologne, which is really interesting, 1 Escape Rope, and 1 Arven. So yeah, very spicy on the trainer front. I'm not sure how I feel about this list compared to the last one, but yeah, it's definitely pretty interesting. I guess if you're a fan of Kyogre and you know what you're doing, then it'll be better for you. But yeah, a bit strange, but we're also not playing research. Forgot to mention that. So no research, purely iReader. Yeah, pretty strange list overall. But yeah, thank you for watching. It's been Aaron Power. Let me know what you think of Dondozo, Rapid Strike, Malamar, as well as Reggie's down below. But yeah, thank you for watching. Hope you see you next time. And yeah, thank you for watching.